Okay, hi all. I just want to talk about the 2019 tabular statement for a moment, and there are three things I want to bring to your attention because we haven't come across them before. The first thing is when you're laying out the tabular statement, there's something different in the balance sheet here that you were given. There's stock, then there's debtors, and in brackets, less provision for bad debts. So in other questions, you may see debtors and the provision for bad debts underneath it, and then they do the subtraction and they get the net figure and put it in with the current assets. However, here they don't tell you what the provision for bad debts is. So in the tabular statement, you will need to list both the debtors and the bad debt provision, or the provision for bad debts. Okay, so how you get from this figure to these two figures, I'm just going to go through now, and it's very straightforward. Well, it says debtors less provision for bad debts 5%. Well, if the provision for bad debts is 5% of the debtors, then if you take away the provision from the debtors, you should be left with 95% of the debtors. So this 78,280 must be 95% of the original debtors figure. So if we I'll do it down here, 78,280 equal to 95%. And then we can do our usual get 1%, get 100%. I just need a calculator for this. 78280, and then we divide it by 95 to get 1%. Divided by 95, 1% is 824. And then we multiply by 100 to get 100%, so that's 82400. So that's the total debtors figure before you subtract the 5%. So that's the figure we put in as debtors in our assets here. And then the second thing is, to find out what this 5% is, we could either just subtract that original 78,280, which is 95%, from the 82,400, which is 100%, or we could take this 1%, 824, and multiply it by 5 to get 5%, and it'll give you a figure of 4120. So the next thing to notice though as well is that this bad debt provision goes in as a minus. It goes up here always. You can't put it down here in the liabilities as a plus. It goes up here as a minus because you want the net debtors figure to be in here, sort of like when we have like vehicles and vehicles depreciation as a minus, because you want the net book value figure of the vehicles to go in here. So that's the first thing, just so when you're laying out your first column on the first of the first, that's the only difference really from previous years. Okay, the next thing I wanted to go through then was the March column, because that's something that you